Runescape offers a long list of repeatable bosses from which the player can obtain crucial gear upgrades to allow for a more feasible progression towards the endgame content. It has been proven possible to solo kill every single one of these bosses, but with the best in slot gear at the player's disposal. Now, just how crucial are these best in slot items? Is it possible to kill every single boss for a maximum of 1 time as an Ironman? And how loud will I scream if I happen to get a rare drop from one of them? Come along on this unforeseeable journey as I explore obscure methods in an attempt to slay them all. Brand new account. Well, almost. Just starting out here at the old timer. I created the account a few days ago, but quickly realized that I needed a little break. Having just ended my previous series in what turned out to be a rather controversial fashion. Right, I want to ask a genuine question before we get started. Do you guys think that there actually is a chance of completing a challenge of this caliber? The only manifested rule is that I can only get 1 KC on each boss, but I want to go ahead and challenge myself even more for the beginning and actually most of the series. If you are well familiar with the gear available in the game, along with its respective attributes, you'll quickly come to think of the Void Knight equipment as a powerful tool for killing monsters compared to how easily accessible it is. Now, the pest control minigame isn't a part of the boss list on the high scores, so theoretically it's not going against the rules by acquiring it. I do, however, want to enforce the sense of accomplishment, having completed most of the bosses with a budget gear setup, which will also force me to improve my mechanics. Another reason to refrain from the Void Knight is also the fact that it's gonna diminish a lot of the satisfaction of getting a rare drop. So if I went ahead and got the Void Knight armor, I would null the challenge of half of the bosses at least. So I'm gonna try and stay away from the Void Knight for as long as possible. I will probably make an exception further into the account, as equipping a complete set of the Void is part of the Elite Western Province Diary, as I do need the diary cape for completing clue scrolls, due to the fact that purple sweets are a crucial component to my account. The very first boss that I'm gonna do on the account, Winter Tot, no big surprise. It's a very nice and cozy boss, for sure. I did mess up. As you can see, I didn't get a lot of combat achievements, and I didn't think of the combat achievements before killing this boss, so that's something that I'll have to keep in mind moving forward. I do need to complete as many achievements as possible for my kills, because I'm not able to get most of them as they are kill count based. Yeah, I got some at least, but I definitely missed a lot. I am gonna wait with opening the crate until I get higher stats for whatever's necessary, construction, herb lore, you name it, and then I'll open it. And I am inevitably gonna get stuck as some bosses, because my boss experience extends as far as having killed a total of 6 bosses, with the most difficult one being Jet for the Fire Cape, and this was back in 2016, by the way. Now, personally, I love being somewhat efficient, and some of you guys might have realized what I'm up to right now from looking at the gameplay. I am following a guide, more specifically the osrs, whatever, modified Ironman guide to kickstart my account for the best route to Barrowscloths and getting into the quote-unquote mid-game. I am obviously gonna start out the account questing and getting my stats and supplies up, with a bit of bossing along the way. The goal of this video is to get the Barrowscloths along with killing a few bosses, so sit tight. I do want this challenge to stay as challenging as possible, as stupid as that sounds. What I'm trying to get at is that I could simply level up all of my combat stats to high 90s and then start bossing, which would obviously negate the difficulty of about 50% of the bosses solely from outscaling their intended level bracket. So to keep things interesting, I'll attempt a lot of bossing before reaching max combat, which also makes sense in terms of getting some possible upgrades to level up faster along the way. There's a lot of footage of me completing quests, so here's a montage to get us through it. Now it's time to get some bigger goals out of the way. Here's 50 thieving. I need that along with 50 agility to get the rogue's outfit to get big bucks from blackjacking at the mana fights. My fishing up for the barbarian fishing. You know what I managed to collect today? For the first time in 8 years, I've got myself a medium casket. You know what I want. Am I gonna get it first try? Okay. Okay, absolutely spooned. This is great, man. What the damn? This is more than I could have asked for. I need prayer right to equip this. Yeah. Someday. Damn. What a nice start to the clue luck. And here's me getting 50 agility. Please, yes. The final crate here took about, I would say, an hour. 5 pieces. I only messed up, I think, 2 times. And so it was time to get some cash for runes mainly, and later the Kingdom of Miscellanea. Into the Shadow of the Storm for some nice early range experience, up to 27 from 1. And here I dump a lot of my cash into primarily nature runes and some law runes and cosmic as well. I'm gonna need the nature runes to not only elk, but to superheat some iron bars, which I'm gonna make into dart tips to get some fletching up whilst questing. Got myself up to 50 mining, but the main goal here was to get 2400 iron bars. And here is another flurry of quests, just quickly knocked out. Lost City up until Fairy Tale Part 1. At this point I didn't know if I got lucky or not with the items, as you see here on the screen. But unfortunately there isn't a great way for me to get a nature talisman from drops, so I needed to level a bit of runecrafting to get to do Guardians of the Rift. And as you can see, I totally messed up my very first Guardian of the Rift. I thought when it hit 100% that I was done, but apparently I had to wait for a few seconds in there to get my rewards. Whilst I was locked out from another Guardian, I went ahead and got my Avanto to get it cleaned here in Nada. Very blessed to have this women be able to clean the herbs. And after about 8 hours of Guardians of the Rift, I do my last spoils to get the final pearls. And there we have Fairy Tale Part 1 into some bigger quests. Dragon Slayer 1 completed. The Holy Grail. Starting to see the combat stats rise exponentially. And it was time to get my prayer up for some quests. I went ahead and killed hill giants in the wilderness for a greater chance of the giant key and got it at KC 91 and got myself enough bones to level 240 at the Chaos Altar. Then went ahead and completed the Horror from the Deep, and I thought the boss was so glitchy. Then I did some Slayer and got 40 range along the way in preparation to do Animal Magnetism, and I also needed an axe and decided to stay a bit longer for a rune axe, which I got very early, so that was nice. Animal Magnetism done. Huge upgrade to the account. The accumulator is probably the best in slot for me, unless I get very, very lucky and receive the Warcath head later on. The Underground Pass. Arguably the best quest in the game, or at least the one with the most nostalgic value. I can now buy the Iban Staff, or will I can upgrade the Iban Staff, right? And it's just a huge weapon early on. It will help me with a lot of questing and bossing. The main one being Pharaohs, obviously. It's just great. It's just great. It's the account is starting to form. Okay, it's time to kill another boss, just because I felt like doing it. And you might be wondering, why am I not using the Iban Staff? And that is because I need to be aware of the combat achievements, as mentioned before. So one of the combat achievements for Obor is killing it in a free-to-play world. And, well, yeah, obviously can't use the Iban Staff. Successfully slayed Obro, but I thought he was entangled. But apparently he wasn't, so I missed a combat achievement, which is very unfortunate. Hopefully it won't mess me up in the future. I haven't actually done any calculations for the achievements, how many I need to get to unlock the rewards. The Rune Platelegs was a nice upgrade. Now I did a lot more questing and I don't really feel like saying this is this quest, so here's a quick montage. Whilst being on the phone, I've been climbing rooftops and also training agility. Just quickly got up to the right amount for the graceful outfit, which will help a lot with farming, birdhouse runs, questing, you name it. Up next on the phone was doing some agility pyramid. I needed to replenish my cash after having dumped most of it into the Kingdom of Miscellanea. I did quite a bit more questing, mainly to get up some early farming levels, as you can see, and now it's time to commence the farming runs. So I had to go a bit off-road with the guides and get myself up to 60 woodcutting from chopping some trees to do the Enlightened Journey quests. Normally you would get the yield logs from opening several boxes from Wintertot, but I can only obtain one box, right? And I'm still holding it until I get some higher levels. With the Enlightened Journey completed, I did fare back and forth with the balloon system to get myself a lot of oak planks made at the sawmill next to Varrock, and this put me up to 50 construction. I can now make portal rooms, which is gonna be a huge help. The early hunter levels come super fast with birdhouse runs. I'm already up to maple birdhouses. And you know the best way to get maple logs are from the Kingdom of Miscellanea. And after 7 days, I decided to collect whatever has been farmed. No idea if this is a great yield, but I did keep up my 100% a day. Got myself up to 60 smithing in the blast furnace in advance of some more quests. I am gonna smith a lot of gold bracelets to high elk while I'm questing, and I'm also gonna make some teleportation jewelry. Before starting the high elking, I thought it was worth a shot to give it a go at Brio to see if I can get the essence. Once again, I'll have to kill Brio in a free-to-play world in order to get the combat achievements, and I am gonna attempt defeating her in some absolutely abysmal gear, but it should suffice. Did I miss the... Oh, I might have missed it now. I might have missed it. No fall, that's alright. Got the legs already. Well, I don't really deserve anything other than a Terramint seed, so yeah, that's a decent elk. I didn't obtain the Brio Fighter Staff, however I still have a shot at getting a Fire Tome for the elking, so I'm gonna open up the crate, even though I should probably wait until I'm higher. Herb lore, construction, you name it, you know, the longer you wait, the better the yields, but here goes. I didn't even get collection luck, so that's pretty disappointing. No magic locks either, so I'm gonna have to farm some implings, I guess. Ugh. I went ahead and completed the Mage Arena 1. I did go for Saradomin, because I think it's the one which is gonna look the best with the Infinity Ropes, which are probably gonna be my best and sudden mage for a long time. Also, whilst being at the Mage Arena, I decided to buy some more nature runes to refund some cash. Another very significant quest completed, Regicide, a predisposer to the Roving Elves quest, which will yield me a very nice shield or bow. Questesses. As I was finishing off the last subquest for Recipe for Disaster, I went ahead and bought the Dragon Scimitar, which is the first huge melee upgrade for the account, although I cannot equip it just yet. I also needed 70 cooking, and in preparation for that I decided to do the current achievement diary to receive the item, which allows for a chance for a double fish. The easy diary also allows for cooking in the Hosidius kitchen, which has a 5% lower chance to burn the food. And for 70 cooking, I decided to fish 3k Koram ones. Now, it isn't smart to cook these at low level, but I needed them for quests and bossing. And so I got 70 cooking and burned about 600 of the 3000 Koram ones, so that's alright. And I held my breath for a few moments as I attempted to cook the snake with the lowest level requirement. And we made it. And just like that, the last NPC of the meeting has been saved, and I'm only 3 quest points away from getting the Barrow's Gloves. I just gotta say, whoever designed this quest, I hope you're feeling alright. Holy smokes. And on a random farm run, I've received my very first Hisbori seed, which is a boss that I actually need to slay. And with another slice of ham and Ichelarin's little helper, I was so ready to engage in the final boss fight, only to find out that I needed to complete Desert Treasure 1. But before I could do that, I needed to get 12 magic logs from Implings. Lord, man! And after 3 hours, I managed to get the 12 magic logs, only to find out that I actually went ahead and got 14, so let's not talk about that ever again, okay? And thanks to my agility, I didn't fall a single time in the pyramid, although I did fail a couple of times throughout the quest, but nothing major. I didn't have to go and receive a gem again, but yeah, that's Treasure 1. Time to take on the Recipe for Disaster, Culinariomancer. Culinariomancer. And there we finally have it. Such a weird combination of fights. I actually died to the very first boss and just barely killed it the second time around, whilst steamrolling every other boss. So, that's old school RuneScape for you, right? Antique lamp on the floor, although I am gonna save it until I hit 50 Herblore. Let's run out to the old timer to check how long it took to complete the recipe for disaster. And this is also a nice place to stop the video, it being the same place that we started it. In this video we managed to kill 3 of the current 59 bosses. In the next video I'd like to kill at least 10 more. I don't know if that's too much or too little, let me know down below. I know this video was a bit all over the place, but I wanted to get through the other game pretty fast. The upcoming videos aren't gonna be 200 hours of progress, it's gonna be a more relaxed approach, so I hope you appreciate that. Let me know down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.